So we're continuing our interviewing the experts column here, and I'm going to be interviewing Joseph and Campitelli. He's an architect, and we'll see what he has to say about what he does and how he can help. So hi everyone, so here we are with Joseph Campitelli, architect extraordinaire. So how long have you been an architect?
10 years.
10 years, awesome. Yeah. Okay, and where's your location right now?
It's in Markham, Ontario. Highway, just north of Highway 7, 16th Avenue, Kennedy Road.
Okay, and the actual address is
10 Baroque, Unit 3.
10 Baroque, Unit
Markham.
3. Yeah. Okay, so it's in a strip mall in the plaza.
Yeah.
And you've been here how long?
In this unit, 6 years, going on 6 years ago.
So just to give people an idea of an architect and what do you do and stuff. So what kind of projects do you work on? What's your smallest thing? What's your biggest thing you've been working on? That kind of stuff.
We work on various projects, very much mixed base, right from single-family custom homes to retail, commercial buildings, all the way up to condo developments, multifamily work. The smallest project we do is renovate homes to upgrade either their facades, their roof lines, emphasize new identity and an image, expand interior spaces into new or existing spaces, and then it just builds up from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so your biggest project you were saying is something in?
Well, right now our biggest project is a 7-story mid-rise condominium, 72 unit in Etobicoke. That's a development that has been going on for the last 2.5 years.
This year?
Well, this one here is a 16 unit townhouse high-end development. In North York. Individual units of about 2,500 square feet.
So let's say somebody's renovating their house. This is always like a common question. How big does the project need to be before they say, well, geez, I should get an architect to do this or to work on it?
It usually starts from the building department. When they start understanding that you're moving structural walls or you're requiring mechanical, electrical adjustments, you're expanding or putting new openings in somewhere, they require you to retain a professional engineer or architect to review the existing conditions to ensure that everything's going to comply to codes and safety. Besides if it makes practical sense to hire an architect for that or not, permits need to be taken out. And if there's enough information that can be provided to the building department through the owner, they typically can do it themselves.
And so like in your project, obviously you're designing things, you're drawing with your hand, you're using the computer programs to come up with a design. And there's also a lot of back-end stuff that you do too, like with permits and that kind of stuff, and like for the whole project. So let's say somebody comes with you and says, I got to make my custom home. You do all the designing stuff, that gets all done, but then there's other things that you have to handle as well, correct, as an architect?
Oh yeah, well we as a service we handle everything from planning on the property to comply with zoning and bylaw requirements. Yeah. So along with packaging that up with a design and product to go on that property, we manage the permit, which you need to satisfy all the requirements for a complete application. Yeah. So we'll bring them through that process in order to ensure that they'll end up having a permit at the end of the day. And then we'll work with the owner, should they require a service to keep on going, is to acquaint them with a builder, assist them in reviewing the pricing packages and the quotations so that they know how to compare apples to apples, who they will retain to build it. And then stay on board as a contract administrator to ensure that things are being done as per the drawings that were designed and approved on. To determine deficiencies and things that didn't get done correctly and that require correction. Right. And even provide additional details to drawings that the builder may need that may not be inherent in the permit drawings when initially approved.
Right, because after the project gets going, there may be something that comes up that initially wasn't saw, and you might have to redesign something.
Always something comes up as an adjustment, but ultimately you're trying to maintain the original design, so you're not redesigning something.
Right.
You're just adjusting things to make it still happen. So at that point, a lot of experience or the background of whom you're involved with becomes a real benefit because they're able to come up with alternatives
Yeah.
to get the job done without really altering it to an extent where you now are having a different product that you really paid for and wanted.
Right.
So the job is to make it happen
Yeah.
as it was first designed.
Okay. Do you have, what would be like an ideal client for you, or somebody say, yeah, I would really love to do this, if there's something you can think of?
I think the ideal client really comes down to one who's willing to appreciate what you have to bring to the table. An ideal client understands the value of any professional or person, entity that they go to hire for a job. And if you compare it to be the cheapest service, I don't try to compete with that.
Right.
I don't want to be the most expensive service, but it has to be reasonable. So the ideal client really gets the feeling that they're going to end up with an X amount, more than really what they're probably going to end up paying for at the end of the day.
In terms of value?
In terms of value. If we can get beyond that, understand that what we can do for that layout in the kitchen and experiencing and getting from one appliance to the other, or how you host at a social event, that will become invaluable as an experience in that space or a use of that space, which will overvalue anything you can possibly pay for.
Sure. So what are the steps? Let's say somebody says, well, okay, I need an architect. They call you. How does the meeting start, and where does it go from? Like, do you meet for free, sort of thing, for a little while, talk, bat some ideas around? Or?
Those first meetings depend. Like, if you're coming to meet for, like, if you're looking to understand what an architect does, I'll talk all night long.
Sure.
Right. But those initial meetings for about an hour, try to limit to an hour, are getting to know you, what you can bring to the table, and that's basically a free service.
Right.
However, I have opportunities where, I'll get a call, but they need assistance to move themselves forward. There's not necessarily a guarantee that they will retain me.
Okay.
So I will provide a consultation service that will give them direction, but at a fee. $250 is a standard fee that I use to meet, to discuss the project, to give them viable options and which way to go.
Right.
What might be, the initial issues are, we don't know what to do. We don't know if we're rebuilding, we don't know if we're renovating.
Right.
So I'll spend the time to help try to assess the options available.
And it might not even include you at some.
That's right.
You could just, you need to do this, this, and that, and go.
And they'll use it as a framework to go home, discuss amongst themselves as what makes sense. Do we spend a little bit more to do this? Or we might end up spending the same amount but only do this because we're going to end up moving anyways.
Right.
And should they retain me at the end of the day, that becomes a part of a deposit.
Okay.
Off the quoted amount.
Okay, cool. So if people want to know more about you or your service, that kind of thing, how should they get in touch with you? Phone numbers, website?
Well, my website is www.jnc-architect.com, and you'll find quite a few up-to-date projects that we've been working on. Our phone number is 905-887-8900, and the office is open 9 to 6, primarily Monday to Friday.
Even though we're here at 9:30 at night.
9:30 at night, but
things need to get done.
I do schedule things off hours to accommodate whatever clientele is necessary.
All right, that's great. Thank you very much for your assistance.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully people can use your service, and if you need his service, you know where to get in touch with them, and that would be great. And obviously tell them Dr. Marco sent you. All right.
Thanks very much.
Bye.